Welcome to episode 5 of Waxing On. It's Friday, and today's about comedy. Back in the early 70s, Second City in Toronto decided to put together a TV series, and it was called SCTV. And it was a story of this mythical TV station, what happened in the background, what happened on the shows, what went on, and it was made up of cast from Second City in Toronto. At that time, we had Andrea Martin, Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, John Candy, and Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis was part of season 1. At the same time, Lorne Michaels and Hart Pomerantz were a comedy team. And some of the Canadians may remember the Hart and Lorne Terrific Hour that would occasionally appear on CBC. Well, it's 1975. Lorne Michaels takes off for the U.S., takes a couple of Second City alumni with him, Dan Aykroyd and Gilda Radner, picks up some other Second City players from National Lampoon Show, players from other regional comedy organizations, and puts together Saturday Night Live. Now, at that time, I was living in rural Ontario, and we didn't have cable TV. Satellite TV wasn't even thought of at that day. We were working off an antenna on the house. And with antennas, you were really limited to the number of stations you received. I know where I lived, I could pick up CBC, you could pick up CTV, bit of Global, and if you were lucky, out of Watertown, we might grab CBS. But nothing on ABC, and none of the Canadian networks were picking up some of these American shows. So when I go home to my parents' place, they lived in a little larger area, had cable TV, I could see Saturday Night Live there. And I did what a lot of people did from my era. I'd sit in front of the TV with my tape recorder on, taping the show so I could listen to it later. At that time, of course, VCRs didn't exist, so we couldn't tape it and watch it. Best we could do, or the best we could do, was an audio tape. So in 1976, Saturday Night did the next best thing, and they produced the Saturday Night Live album. And you can see on here, this is from year 1. We've got the original Not for Primetime players, Lorraine Newman, John Belushi, Jane Curtin, Gilda Radner, Dan Aykroyd, Garrett Morris, and Chevy Chase. And basically what this is some of the best sketches from the show. We also have Weekend Update, which has been a standard since year 1. We've got a couple of songs in there. We've got some guests appearing, most noticeably Peter Boyle, who along with John Belushi do their famous dueling Brandos. We have a couple other Canadians in here. We've got musical director Howard Shore. Some of you may remember him as sax player with the Canadian band Lighthouse. Paul Schaefer, who went on to lead the Saturday Night Live band later and became David Letterman's musical director for forever. So if you get a chance to go back and see what was happening in season 1, give it a listen. Now, I will caution you, fair warning, that some of the things that were done in 1975 aren't necessarily things that sit well with people in 2020. There can be some things that might be offensive, might be, a little out of line. Just be aware that happens with a lot of comedy. Whether you're at a comedy club or comedy albums, times have changed, and just be aware of that before you give it a listen. So, anyways, if you get a chance to revisit some classic comedy, here we are 45 years later and they're still going strong. I hope you enjoy it. So, stay home, stay safe. We'll see you on Monday when it's Jazz Day.